Hello, I'm the Toycat, and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about 5 things which exist in Minecraft which are actually from the real world. So, the thing about Minecraft is it actually takes most of its inspiration from real life, but some things you might assume, oh yeah, that's entirely made up, but are actually from the real world in some form or other, and they're just a kind of Minecraft interpretation. And today I think it'd be kind of cool to go through 5 of these and talk about 5 things that are in Minecraft that you might not have known are actually real. So hopefully you do all enjoy today's video. If you do all like it and let me know because it helps out the channel and lets know you do like these sorts of videos. But with that said, let's get straight into it already, shall we? Because the inspiration from this actually came from the fact that I was just looking up something in real life and I found out that silverfish are a real animal. So maybe this is common knowledge to everyone else, but to me I was deeply shocked by this. So I read into silverfish and I found out they're one of the most horrifying things in real life. So yeah, in real life these things right here do in fact exist, and although they aren't exactly this size compared to the the human or whatever, they are absolutely horrifying because they look something like this. That's right, silverfish do exist in real life, and like I said, they're absolutely horrifying to look at, and oh my god, they're crazy. But not only are they just really weird to look at and they're a crazy weird insect, but actually they have a lot of the functions you might expect from the real, silverfish in games. So for instance, they actually are kind of like a hidden pest, so they don't do too much to the player, but what they, to, I guess, humans, not the player, but they don't do too much to you besides the fact, by the way, you can see right here, by the way, the silverfish, it's like a call to battle where it makes any other silverfish blocks turn into silverfish. But yeah, the really cool thing about real life silverfish is they are kind of a pest. They'll eat your wallpaper, they'll eat stuff like that, which is why, by the way, in Minecraft, they exist within blocks, because they can kind of do that. They're very small, insects, and they're very hard to track down. You have to trap them and do stuff like that if you do want to catch them. But yeah, the final thing that I thought was really interesting about silverfish is the fact that if they don't have food, they can still last for roughly a year of time if they don't have any food, if they just have water, which is really, really crazy. Like a full year, that's like most of their life cycle, they can last without food. So just in case you think you're starving them by removing all the books and the leather from your house, then it doesn't actually quite work that way, because it takes a year for them to starve to death, which is crazy when you compare that to like Steve or the player or whatever. But with that said, let's move on to the second feature, which is in Minecraft, and you might not have known is actually a real thing, which is redstone. So I mentioned this in a few redstone videos in past, so if you watched all my redstone videos, then maybe you'll know this, but actually redstone, or if you're just like an electrical engineer or something, basically redstone actually does have a lot of bases in the electricity system from real life. So it's not exactly complex electronics, like you can't make yourself like, an Xbox or something from redstone in Minecraft, although that'd be a fun little project, wouldn't it? But yeah, although redstone isn't exactly complex electronics, it is electronics nonetheless. So yeah, this is the really basic circuitry, which, you still will study if you're doing anything to do with electronics. I studied in IT, for instance, and basically, yeah, every part of redstone is the equivalent of an on-off signal, and there's a bunch of gates, which are usually done with chips, but can be done using redstone torches and stuff in the game, which you can use to kind of make complex outputs. So here, for instance, what you're seeing me walk around with the lit redstone, the redstone torches, the gates, the redstone repeaters, in case you're curious to see exactly what this is my rock, paper, scissors games, where it's a really simple concept of just like, oh, you go rock, paper, or scissors, and then it goes through the thing. Obviously, it's not entirely complete, but you can see how just, you take a simple concept, you scale it up and up and up, and then suddenly you've got an electronics thing, which is a little bit like a circuit board from real life, and that is because redstone is very, very highly based on electricity. Even stuff like redstone comparators that you might be like, they were put in there to make redstone better, actually based on real life components, which do the exact same thing, which, I don't know, maybe you find that interesting, or maybe you already knew what silverfish, and you already knew what, maybe you already knew what silverfish, and you already knew what, redstone was, but maybe you didn't know that one of the biomes in Minecraft, which seems like it's entirely fake, not just the Mesa, which a lot of people know is real, but the Mesa Bryce biome is actually based in reality. So yeah, like I said, Mesa biomes are real, or in real life, like they exist in quite a few different places, nowhere near where I live, which is the UK in case you're curious, but they do exist. You can find them in the real world in a few different places, but Mesa Bryce is something which is a really specific biome based on the Bryce Canyon in Utah, I believe it is, in United States of America. So yeah, basically there's this place called the Bryce Canyon, and it has lots of these hoodoos in it, which are a really distinct geographic feature that are pretty much exclusive to this one place, and basically the Mesa Bryce biome, it's actually not too much to do with the Mesa thing, but the Bryce biome, I guess you could call it, is actually based on the Bryce Canyon, and that's why these things, by the way, these are my fake little hoodoos, would you like them anyway? These these hoodoos are actually based on the real life form, and yeah, that's right, Mesa Bryce biome is based on something from real life, which to me at least was like, that's really interesting. I kind of want to go there now. So yeah, Bryce Canyon in, again, Utah, I think it's the United States. It's something you can go check out if you like yourself, particularly weird geography that looks kind of like Minecraft biomes. And yeah, that'd be, I feel like there'd be a weird video on that. But yeah, with that said, yeah, let's move on from that to the next thing here, which is actually going to be the 4th feature in Minecraft, which you might be shocked about, because it's to do with minecarts. So minecarts and minecart rails, as you can Wait, do we have a minecart going around? We don't have one going around right now, but yeah, minecarts and minecart rails are a relatively simple thing, right? Like, oh, here you can see, you push the minecart along the rails, and it does the magical thing and ends up back there. Yeah, pretty simple stuff, works exactly like track, but the thing about Minecraft rails is the fact that there's actually 3 different variants. There's, there's the regular ones, there's the ones with the sensors on it, and then there's, of course, the powered rail. So the powered rail is really interesting because you might just assume it's a Minecraft thing, like, oh yeah, you put redstone power through and it actually makes the card go, but it's actually based on something which does exist in real life called the third rail system for, most railways. So obviously, yeah, minecarts and I guess railways for trains and stuff have a lot in common. I know that's not too common in a lot of parts of the world, but yeah, trains are a similar concept to minecarts where they've got 2 rails and you kind of push it along it and that's how it goes in a fixed place. Basically, minecarts have a lot of similarities to them, and one of the biggest ones is the fact that they use these powered rails to get speed. So in real life, there's a concept called the third rail, and a lot of like electrical train systems use it. Basically, it's a way to get power to the train to make it go faster, and basically the same thing works right here with minecarts, where as you can see, there is this third powered rail in between the the gold added there, and basically this supplies power to the minecart, which is why it can go so fast in particular situations. So yeah, boom, powered rails in Minecraft. You might think they're a Minecraft thing that's just made up so they can be like, oh yeah, this thing's so wacky, but no, it's actually a thing which exists in the real world, and that, yeah, the third rail is a concept like that. I think it's actually dangerous and it's actually kind of inefficient, but it's relatively cheap, and that's why it's widespread. And if you ever go to the New York, I think it's the subway, right? If you go to the subway, you can see how there's always like electric just shooting off it, because it is in fact a real thing. So I'll just a quick thing I should mention before we leave the rails behind. There's 4 rails, but there's the detective rail, but I haven't really used that in a very long time. So that's why I mentioned 3, because there's 3 rails which people realistically use, and then there's a 4th one, which at least personally I've never used, but maybe use it all the time. And if that is you, then maybe you'll be interested in the 5th thing from Minecraft, which is real. And this is something I actually had to check up because I was like, there's no way that's actually real. And then as it turns out, it actually is. So Mycelium, which is the, the block used in mushroom biomes, the purple one like this, is actually a real life, thing. So basically, it's a result of, like build up of, fungus and stuff. And it doesn't look quite like this. It's a very small thing. It's not like a whole block size and you rarely get like massive structures, I guess massive areas covered in it. But what it does do is it covers something in fungus, and it's basically a very heavily fungus infected area, which is why, the closest thing in Minecraft you have to fungus, mushrooms, grow there, and that's why if you have any, that's why all the mobs there, which is only mushrooms in case you're curious, that's why they're all covered in mushrooms, I guess, because they're all infected by the absolute fungusy thing, and realistically, yeah, it's a very, very kind of dangerous mix of fungi and stuff, and that is what mycelium is. It's a bit more complex than that, but that's the simple kind of thing of what mycelium is. It's a fungus kind of build up everywhere, and that means that mycelium and the mushroom biome in general, I mean, in real life, you don't find islands covered in mushrooms, but, the concept, at least, is based in something from reality, which is something that shocked me. I was so sure that mycelium was just something they invented to be like, oh yeah, look at this crazy wacky biome, and as it turns out, it is something from the real world. So yeah, that is 5 features from Minecraft, which do in fact exist in real life. Silverfish, absolutely horrifying. Redstone, actually pretty cool. Mesa Bryce biomes, really, really cool. Makes me want to go to Utah, apparently. As well as that, the powered rails, based on the third rail from real life. And there's the mycelium too. Anyway, I hope you did all enjoy this little video on 5 things from Minecraft that exist in the real world. Because again, a lot of these shocked me and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird at first. And maybe you have the exact same reaction. You're like, oh yeah, Silverfish, isn't that a great thing that I wish I didn't know about? Or maybe you're intrigued by the fact that, mushroom biomes have the tiniest bit of scientific reality behind them, which means if, like me, you want to have a mushroom, there's a tiny, non-realistic, but there is a tiny chance we'll create mushrooms in real life at some point, and that's something that makes life worth living, right? Anyway, with that said, hope you did all enjoy today's video. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching this video, because I will see you all in the next one. So, goodbye everyone.